Welcome back to Savas Unscripted, episode 175, and it's a strange one. We are mixing franchise rugby and international rugby. Obviously, this is Savas Unscripted, so we're going to talk about our teams first, right? Because it's a massive game this weekend. It's bigger than the Six Nations. Don't even get me started. Well, for us, it's the Bulls versus the Stormers versus the Bulls, right? At Cape Town Stadium, I'll be there. So if you see me there, buy me a drink because I like my alcohol. Anyway, we'll chat about the Six Nations as well. If everyone just send me a message to remind me to put in timestamps when we actually upload this thing.
Okay, I'll remind you.
I keep forgetting. Anyway, how are you doing, brother?
Yeah, all good. Made me excited to realize that there's such good rugby on this weekend. So yeah, if you obviously here for Six Nations stuff, please do just watch this awesome chats about Bulls and Stormers because gotta respect us for that. And then there will be some good chat because there's some interesting team announcements for the Six Nations. So
yes.
But yeah,
okay.
Our teams. Oh.
Well, we haven't seen any squads, right?
We'll both announce tomorrow. Like we know this. It's just how it is.
It's the injury plagued playing against each other, right? Like I don't even know who's fit in I don't know who's injured, who's alive, and who's dead in my team. Like, I just don't know at this point. Because I thought we had all our guys that were injured coming back, and I just heard, I don't know. I really don't know. So, and you've got out Ruan Orkia, Elrich Lowe also out.
And Johan Goosen.
Yeah. And Johan Goosen. Massive. Maybe that's the opportunity for Vili to slot into that 10 jersey, don't you think?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting though, because
you reckon we'll see that?
I think you'll probably get Vili to. I liked what they did with him in the last game against the Lions, where he came off the bench and he kind of had to play that 10 role a bit. I don't see him starting per se in that position. If he does start, I think it will be fullback, but you'll see him bouncing in and out of 10 the whole game, I'm sure. But yeah. It's tough because Butter Chamberlain, I just don't think he's that quality flower.
He was bought to be the future. You kind of have to back him a bit now.
But that's the thing, right? I feel like you kind of have to start him, right? Because he's the guy we signed.
Exactly, we bought him.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, obviously, Devin Williams hasn't pressed as of recent, and then obviously that means he's competing with Vili, and then. Obviously, Moody came off the bench against the Lions. He'll want to probably start a game again. So, yeah, I mean, even you guys, right? What's your team?
I don't know. I have no idea what we'll be doing. I have zero clue what we'll be doing. You just don't know with the Stormers because we'll announce a team and then 5 minutes beforehand we'll be like, okay, well, everyone's injured. I think that. Dobbo is probably sitting there calling up to see what schoolboys are fit at the moment to play. It's a state of disaster, basically. But trust, we are still beating your ass. You are not coming to Cape Town and winning this game. You are not coming to Cape Town and winning this game at all. It won't be allowed. The best fight you'll put up is some guy in the crowd throwing some punches. You won't win this game. When started. Yeah, I don't know. It feels a bit like seeing you guys in third with 2 games in hand, and we sitting in 12th, stinking it out and thinking, what the fuck is going on with this season? It makes me nervous, I might.
The thing is, I don't care about lock position when it comes to this type of game, right? Because. Like I said, we always say this, form goes out the window when it comes to these games. And this is the biggest game in South African rugby, in my opinion. It's one of the biggest franchise games in the world. I'm not saying the biggest before anyone, loses their mind. But
it's the biggest in the world.
To us, it's the biggest. But, obviously, there are some other massive ones. But this is a serious one to us. And like you said, form always goes out the window. And I don't know when we last won in Cape Town.
No, it's been a good while.
It's been a
Previous time we
very
played
long
at
time.
Loftus, that was the previous time that
Yeah.
you've won in what, like 5 years?
Yeah, so obviously that Loftus game we won, but obviously I cannot remember when we last won in Cape Town, and that is the truth. Jake always takes us to Cape Town and loses, so it's a scary,
Well,
but yeah.
But this is so off topic. But we heard Joe Schmidt might be leaving. Do you think Jake White takes that role up now? Because I remember us talking when Stuff Unscripted really started, right, about Jake White potentially coaching the Wallabies. You reckon he goes for that now? You think if he loses that bad this Saturday, he's like,
Well,
I'm
look,
announcing
at the
the
end of the
Wallabies.
day, right? I think Jake genuinely has, if he wants to be considered a success, right? In the Bulls. I mean, not that he's not been a success. He's definitely brought us back to competing. I'll say that. Let's be real. The Bulls were at a stage where they were not winning anything.
You're the most consistent of us. Yes.
Now, what I'm trying to say is if Jake does fail to win yet another URC or even the Challenge Cup, for example, I personally don't see a future for him because he's built everything he can build. And if he's not winning, you take what he's built and you give it to someone else to maybe add the final steps. So yeah, maybe look, obviously that ends in May, June, and then the rugby champs when Joe Smith ends in like October. So maybe Jake could be involved there. But
I mean, I was just taking the piss with it a bit, but like I don't even know who they're gonna go for. If I was Australia, I'd just go for Dave Rennie again. Say, listen, okay, we've got a more fit squad because I felt like they gave him the short end of the stick, where it was like he had about 30 injuries and he couldn't do anything with the squad, and then they just sacked him. Anyway, let's stay up to it with the Stormers. I do believe we'll have a decent enough team. I don't think we have too many injuries. Obviously, the injuries are still the same injuries. Like there will still be no Dan Dupe. I don't think there will be any Sasha. Sounds like Marnie's gone for the rest of the URC. Not the rest of the URC. I heard someone said his knee injury is bad, like bad.
What? I didn't know about that.
Well, I'm lying with the rest of the URC, but they said for a good while. So,
bro, really? Like that?
Well, I was on TikTok live, so obviously they could be taking the piss. This is hearsay, so I don't know.
No, obviously, but like if you guys are missing Willems, Sasha,
Willems, how did I miss Willems?
Libok, Dan Duplessis, like that's heavy losses.
That's the
And
entire
obviously
backline.
that's no disrespect, right? But I think then the Bulls should probably win because I think our forwards are very much going to be an equal kind of pack, and not necessarily
our
equal.
boys are fit.
But what I'm trying to say is like we can match you guys in the forwards. Whether I think that's quite a close battle.
You probably have the upper hand when it comes to
the
that.
back line where I think you guys, if we go strength for strength, you guys are probably edging it, right? Because of the talent. But if you're missing that talent, if you're missing that talent, I kind of think, okay, then we can afford to have a Butcher Chamberlain at 10, right? We can afford to have.
I think don't start. You just slated him to saying Butcher Chamberlain shit, and now you're saying, well, now we can afford to do it. That's so cocky. That's so cocky. That is so cocky. Can you believe it?
No.
I hope, surprise, all of a sudden Sasha slots in at
no. Well, I'd love
at 12,
I'd love
Marnie at 10, and Damian Willems
plays.
at 15. Imagine that. Imagine the scenes if that happens. Like you thought they were all dead, and they just like the team sheet comes out and you see that, and you're like, yeah, we might actually be screwed.
Look.
And then all of a sudden you see Kobus Reinach jogging out there in the 9. Surprise.
Yeah. Look, obviously, I don't expect any team to run away with it. I expect it to be very intense and close. But I just think, look, we both have injuries, but I do admit that your injuries probably are a lot more costly, right? Let's be honest. Obviously, Ulrich Loh, Ron Lecure, big losses, and Johan Goosen, but we still have a lot of other quality in the team.
It's
and
not
you
your
guys
entire team.
Yeah, and then you guys obviously are missing like the key players of your team, and those are some like superstars, right? So that's where I think we'll just edge it. I think we'll probably take it by like 3 or 4 points.
You're going against rugby heritage.
Sorry, you cut out a bit. Sorry.
You're going against rugby heritage.
Yeah, because it's time for new heritage, man.
There is no such thing.
There is such thing. Because
there is no such thing.
We were your dads for so long, and now it's come back to where you guys have been the better. But like for a long time before that, we were rugby heritage over you guys. So
yeah,
times change, man.
They do, but we're still in the same era. We're still in the same era, and you will learn. What's your score prediction?
Score prediction exact. I'm gonna go.
Bulls by
4, so 29-25.
What did I say on SUPERBRU? People join our SUPERBRU, and also please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. We do appreciate you guys. Let me see, because I don't want to lie. I said Stormers by 9.
Jeep, are you confident? Oh.
It could be a 2-point game, and then we score a try at the end.
Maybe.
But we got a 6-point lead, and you score a consolation at the end. See you, sucker.
Okay.
No, it's not that I feel confident. I'm backing the history books at the moment. I'm backing the crowd to be up and ready for it. I'm gonna be there. I've never been at a game and seen my team lose.
Lucky you.
Because when I get into that stadium, they announce Casual Bars Rugby is in the crowd, and they know like time to set the standards. You know, like Ratatouille, or that long face guy that came in, and they just knew they had to step up their game. It's one of those things. Anyway, let's actually move on to the Six Nations. Because most people probably clicked on the video for the Six Nations, because this is very local with the way that we're playing our rugby. Anyway, we're starting off. No, let's not start off with Italy and Wales, because that in my opinion is actually a very exciting game. Like, I'm really looking forward to that one. I want to start off with a saucy one. Let's go England at the Alien Stadium taking on France. The previous time they met at Twickers, they got beat so bad they needed to change the name. 53-10. And I'll stay on the floor because I think England's getting absolutely smashed. And I don't believe this. I don't say this in a bad way or whatever. But we've said it before. When you have a specialist 10, probably on form the best 10 in the world, and you play him at 15, he's not going to have the same impact. Not against the team that kicks the most in world rugby. And you've got Damien Penaud back. You've got Louis Bill-Barret chasing down on that absolute unit in the forwards that also gets under the ball. And you've got Marcus Smith there at the back. Instead of an actual 15, you're going to see your asshole laying out there on the ground for everyone to see. I can't say this in a better way. I don't see anywhere that England gets the upper hand in this game. They'll be outmatched at scrum time. They'll be outmatched physically. They'll be outmatched in pace. I think the structure is better of France, and I don't rate the English coach. I'm going France by 29 points. I'm being dangerous.
Mic drop. So look, I think I'm seeing the fullback situation in a different way, right? So Finn Smith has obviously been quality for Saints, in my opinion. I think he's been a very good 10. And I think he's been one of the best informed 10s in the country. But then, obviously, yes, Marcus Smith, like we can both agree, is probably, to us, the best 10 in the world at the moment on form. You can see the things he does, right? And obviously, you will miss a bit of that at 10. But at the same time, I think he can play a Villy role, if for that matter. I think he can still get involved in that 10 position throughout the game.
I don't think they'll have enough of the ball.
Maybe, but I think Freddie Stewart is very weak defensively, right? I think he's very good in the air, but obviously I think defensively he's quite weak, right? I don't think he's that impactful. So are you just going to play a guy to be able to catch high balls, or you're going to try and get a 15, which, yes, isn't Marcus Smith, and they are missing Furbank, but Marcus Smith will bring something different to that 15, an attacking flair on the counter attack. Now, like you said, they're going to need to keep the ball. But I like the fact that at 8 they brought in Jack Willis. I think that's a very physical 8.
Tom Willis.
Sorry,
Jack, don't
brain
start.
fart. I'm thinking of Jack Morgan. My apologies. Yes. Well, anyway, they brought in Willis, right? And I think that's a great move. I think it's.
Yeah, I agree. He's been on great form for Saracens.
Dude, when he played against the Bulls, I really thought he was like a very physical, good ball carrying 8.
You actually thought it's Jack Willis. You thought it was his brother.
Yeah, my brain does some other things. But yeah, I do agree though. Look, I'm not here hoping for the English downfall, right? I'd like to see an England but I do think France are just that team like Penaud, Bill Barret, Jalibert, Dupont. You have Machant and Cyril Bay on the bench. It's the team is, and Ramos at 15. That is just star-studded. Yeah.
That's why I say I just don't see where England managed to win this game. If you look at the way, I've said this before, people over-egg the pudding when they look at England's performance against Ireland. I thought they coped well. That game switched middle first half, and then they were on the defense. And yeah, at some point you have to give them credit for the defense, but they didn't. They never attacked. Never. They had no attacking threat, right? And this French team, I'm sorry to the Irish, they might hate this, right? I still think Ireland's better at the moment, but this French team in attack is way more clinical, in my opinion, than the Irish. If you give this French guys a sniff, they will put you to the sword. And what is the one thing that we've been saying over and over and over again while watching England? Defensive structure all over the place. All over the place. That's exactly why they conceded 53 points against this French team, right? Yeah, you can look back at last season, right? They put up a better performance against France. They played in France, right? That was the same French team that should have lost to Italy and Scotland that got hammered by Ireland. Are you kidding me? It's not the same French team. This French team, you look at what they did to Wales. Now, I said Wales weren't even that bad. They just absolutely obliterated them. What do you think they're going to do with this England team? I think it's the same story. It's going to be the same story. I do believe there's a lot of talent in that England team. Right? I like that England team, but this is not the game where you put up a 50. Maybe if you played, for instance, Italy, where you knew, okay, maybe I needed something extra in attack or whatever. England doesn't need something extra in attack. They need to take away the biggest threat of France, which is their kicking game. And they've got a guy there at the back that hardly ever plays 15. Right? They've got no length there at the back. Literally nothing. So that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm a bit harsh on them, but I just feel like Freddie Stewart's been in great form. I don't think he was shocking against Ireland. Why is he not playing? Just make it make sense. Why is Mark Smith not playing in his best role? Do you remember when Sasha just came through the door and we said, okay, maybe Andre had 10 and Sasha had 15 because Damien Willems was injured? And you were like, no, you don't play Sasha there. He's a 10, right? He has to play. He can play 15, but he's a 10. This is the exact same situation.
No, but I don't necessarily think we want Sasha to be the 10, right? And obviously they want Marcus Smith to be their 10, I'm sure, right? But so what I'm hearing from some people is they really don't rate Stewart. They don't rate him. And they'd rather have someone that brings something other than just catching a ball into that role. For now, whatever, right? But I get what you're saying, right? Obviously, I don't think Borthwick gets his team selection spot on all the time. I think he
does he ever?
I think he does leave a lot. For instance, right? Guess who's on the bench? Elliot Daly.
Bro,
the guy from
that
2000
guy from the Old Testament.
He's still playing damn rugby for England. Like,
Bro, he was
how?
part of that team that invented the game. Like, seriously, what is going on?
Dude, it's
To be
crazy.
fair, right? Like Elliot Daly, the previous time I saw this guy play was in the World Cup semi-final when he just caused a bit of havoc to us. So I mean, fair enough, right? But seriously, like he just spawns out of absolute thin air. Like they've got
Dude.
plucked someone from the archives just to come and face the French.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be an absolute demolition job. I think it's just going to be France are going to win. I do think. I predicted them to win the Six Nations, so they will probably win this, in my opinion. And I can see them winning it by like 10 to 15 points. I can't really give an exact number, but 10 to 15, I think, is a fair number. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see, right?
Do you just think England will show some nitty gritty courage to just stay in
The
it?
thing is,
Bit
I don't
longer?
think England are a bad team. I really don't. Like, I don't think they're a bad team. I think they just lack. How can I say it? Right? They slip
I'll tell you,
tackles.
this is the same team that conceded 50 points to Australia. What would you?
Yeah, fair, but still.
Just putting it out there.
I get that, right? I get that. Don't get me wrong. I get everything you're saying, right? But like, I see an English side that they can. We've seen their system work, right? We've seen it work defensively. They've had a lot of moments where their defense works, and then one guy slips a tackle, and it turns into a brain fart from there. Then we've seen they can be controlling a game, doing well till 60 minutes, winning against the All Blacks. They'll bring on whoever it is, George Ford, and he'll bottle it, and there goes the game. We've said this. There's just something lacking.
Do you think I'm too harsh?
No, I can see a world where England get absolutely smashed in this game if their heads are not in it properly. I can see it, 100%. It's there to happen. Like, I'm not here to say it's never going to happen, but I just think you're an English side who made a World Cup semi-final. Whether that, like, whatever you think about that or whatever.
Yeah, there's no way you're gonna convince me this English team went further than this French team in the World Cup.
And they took us by one. They nearly beat us, bro. Like they were this close.
They probably should have beat us. Like
this English team can do things like that. So that's why I'm just saying, like, you can't let France
a rainy
come a
night in
second
Stoke,
time and
as they
beat
say
you
in
by
England.
50 again. Like, you can't.
Yeah. What can you do in a rainy night in Stoke? That's what they used to do. Anyway, okay. Another juicy one. Can Scotland do it, Breon?
No.
You see that was very disrespectful. The way you just I totally agree. I totally agree. But the way you said that, right? Wow. I'm sorry. It's kind of the same. I don't believe they'll get smashed. I don't believe that.
No.
But you know, I said it on Casual Bars Rugby when I did the other pod yesterday with the other people. And I was like, unfortunately for Scotland, Ireland woke up. Like, if you look at that first half performance and the way that they ended, the amount of confidence they'll take from that, hardly let England get a sniff. The system was flowing. They looked like they went straight back into 2022 with that performance, especially in that second half. Like, as you just mentioned, I don't want to disrespect England all the time. They are still a quality team. But the way that they dismantled England to have them look like they don't even have a foothold in this game whatsoever, they just had to defend. Like, you give England credit to their defense. That is tough, right? And Scotland, I do believe that they will put up a fight. It's at Murrayfield. Obviously, they'll put up a fight. You know, I just think the system of the Irish are that good. And you look at that Scottish team, they probably had a better team going into the World Cup. And they still got pretty much demolished in that World Cup group stage game. Remember when people were saying maybe Scotland can do it? Yeah, they didn't do it. This Irish team, they are going to be up for it. And Scotland, again, will not do it.
Yeah. I think if you look at the way, like when Dan Sheehan came off on the field, right, and the way James Lowe played, and the way Jamison Gibson Park played, like these guys are like they on such good form. I think we saw a Dan Sheehan like where you can make a case that he's one of the best hookers in the world, if not the best, right?
Careful.
It's hard to say that, right? But like he's seriously good. Like I've got to give a guy credit.
Careful, bro.
Yeah, I understand that.
I'm taking the piss. Yeah, he was great. He really is great.
But yeah, the Scottish team, they lack the it factor again, especially missing Tui Pilotu. Like that guy was starting to convince me that he's such a world-class centre. Like he was really like, just getting on with it, doing so well for Glasgow, playing well for Scotland. And then that pairing with Hugh Jones, like Hugh Jones is a great player as well. You know, you could call him world-class if you wanted. But there's just they're lacking something, you know. Like they have good players, but they're lacking
a decent depth.
Speaking about that, right? We're going to get hopefully Prendergast versus Finn Russell, and I think the world's going to see that Sam Prendergast is better than Finn Russell.
You reckon? You reckon he's already better than Finn Russell?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's a saucy one. I wasn't going to go that far. I think, but this is misconception that I hate.
Okay.
I still believe he's decent.
I'm being harsh, right?
I think they're very much the same player. The one just looks a bit fatter.
I'm being a bit harsh, right? Finn Russell has moments that, like, seriously good moments in his career where he has lit up the field completely. But I just think Prendergast is a special talent. Like, he's pretty much one good season away from people seriously talking that this guy is better than Finn Russell. Like, a consistent season, maybe not all time, because obviously that he'll have to earn caps, earn silverware, etc. But I just think, right, like he's a good sissy. He's going to be the next Johnny Sexton. I believe that. I think he's going to take Ireland to great success because he's so similar to Johnny Sexton. And Johnny Sexton was, whether we like him or not, he was so impactful for Ireland. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Like
it was built around him. It was built around him. The battles that I'm looking forward to is that Gary Ringrose, Hugh Jones. I feel like they're the same player.
Sure.
Like, and for me, I don't know. I heard maybe Carl Stein's back. I wouldn't play Duan van der Merwe. I don't think it's a great matchup. I'd go Carl Stein and Darcy Graham.
Nah.
I don't think that this matches up well for Duan van der Merwe.
Well, he would be taking on Hansen, correct?
Oh, still. I don't think the Irish team will give him anything. And he's not really your workhorse, in my opinion.
But Carl Stein has been... There was a stage where it was Duan van der Merwe and Carl Stein, right?
Yeah, but Darcy Graham's the best of them all.
But I don't know. Yeah, he probably is. But I don't know. It depends what they want, right? I just think... Yeah, I actually couldn't...
Another interesting battle will be like, I don't know, that Rory Dodge, Josh Van der Vlier battle. That's a sexy one. Both of them really, really on form. The Forge will be nice. I think Scotland will have the upper hand at scrum time. They should. I rate the Scottish.
Yeah, they've popped us a few times, to be fair.
Yeah, and
I think it's going to be a good
the way that they carry. Pierre Schoeman carries like a demented animal. Like, yeah, him and Xander Ferguson both. I was really impressed by that hooker. This is the first time I saw him as like a fat Johnny Sins. That Cherry, I think he's what's it, Chetty or something. He was class, absolutely class. So that forward pack there, I do like some of these Scottish forwards, and I was really, really impressed by their forwards against Italy. I think I mentioned that to you. I was like, the backline didn't necessarily fire to me, but the dirty work and the grunt work that those forwards put in. And I'm not someone to shoot down the Italian forwards. Like, they've always put in some good yardage and whatever, but the Scottish really did put in a effort there. But then I'm like, look at who they're matching up against in that Irish one. I love that Irish Lucy, like Josh van der Fleer, Callum Doris, Ty Byrne, Ryan Beard. You know,
Yeah, again, this is just down to straight quality, right?
yeah.
The Irish have a lot more quality than the Scots, unfortunately, and
Especially on the bench. I think that's where the game
yeah,
gets more.
like it's a depth. Depth is an issue for Scotland, right? When they bring off the bench, they bring off players that wouldn't make a lot of teams start, like an Irish starting side, like Munster, Ulster, or Bulls, or so. Like, these are guys that they can make the Scottish side, but like the depth is very thin, right? So yeah, I just think the Scots put up a good 20-minute fight, and then you just see the Irish start ticking. I can see a 18-point win.
Yeah, I've got the Irish by 15, but not in a bad way. Like,
Yeah,
I'll back the
they're gonna
Scots
be
to
better.
really put up a performance, and then maybe in the end, just like the tank running on empty, maybe something like that. I don't know. The crowd could keep them in the game as well. Like, that Murrayfield crowd is always something to behold. I love that Murrayfield crowd. I would love to go and watch a game at Murrayfield, to be fair.
Yeah, my dream.
Murrayfield or special one in France. That would be lovely to go and see.
Yeah, my dream would be to watch the Calcutta Cup at Murrayfield. That would be saucy. Like,
Yes.
I don't even have to support anyone. I would support Scotland, but it would be. I mean, yeah, that's the dream. So yeah, but yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
What?
You've tickled my fantasy now with that one. Anyway. Yeah, we still had another game. My bad. Italy versus Wales. I'm really excited for this one. I'll give you the floor first.
Battle of the
spoon.
of the Battle of the Wooden Spoon.
Yeah.
And obviously being played in Italy, if I'm correct.
Yeah, in Rome.
Big. That's a big thing. That is huge for Italy. Massive.
I don't think it matters.
It matters.
To
be fair, they probably would have put up a very good game at the Millennium Principality these days?
Principality, yeah.
Principality, that's it. Yeah, no, I think the Italians are going to win this one. I'll be honest. I do think there's some flair there. They've got enough talent in that squad, in my opinion. One of the best centre pairings in the world.
Yep.
Yeah, they've got some quality, and I think they're going to win it by you could say 12 points. Like, I do think they're that much better than Wales at the moment.
I've actually got it a bit less. I've actually got the game a bit tighter overall than what most would probably say. Maybe I'm being
Wales
a bit
are going to
naive.
win this game. They must win it in the forwards. Like, that's.
Whoa! I'm not going that far. I don't know if Wales winning the game. Let's not be silly.
No, but I'm saying if they want to win, they're going to have to target the forwards. That's what I believe.
For me, I'm like, Wales know that they're going through a bad patch. And if there's one game that they need to show up for, where they just can break a little bit of this drought, it'll be this one. Now, they're not going to break the drought. I've still got Italy to win this game. Right? I do like this Italian team. I think there's a lot of talent, a lot of potential in this team. But I also don't want to act like there's not a lot of potential in that Welsh team and that I didn't see any positives in that even French game. That first 25 minutes, I was like, I know they're going to lose. I know they're going to get hammered, right? But you can see something there. You can see talent there. And I just feel like Italy can win this game by, let's say, 9 points. But Wales making it ugly. Wales know how to make a game ugly, know how to make it tough. Maybe, for instance, Italy run away with it for a bit and then all of a sudden Wales score 2 tries, right? Bring their forwards into the game, as you said. Jack Morgan will be vital in this game. Tommy Rafael will be vital. I don't know if Aaron Wainwright is back or anything. I haven't seen the team of Wales. I haven't seen if it's announced or anything. But I just reckon they'll have that bit of feel where it's like, this is our game. This is the one that we have to target. Just to get this little monkey off our back to go and do something. And I don't think it will be enough. I think if you're playing a game in Rome that favors Italy, of course, but it will fuel them a bit to not go out and stink it out like they did at the Principality last year, because they know everything's to play for at the moment. That's my thought on it.
Yeah, look, I think Wales, this is a very important game, right? I think it's a game where they need to break the drought. I mean, it's been so many games in a row, and if they're not careful, I do believe that this is their chance to break the drought. Otherwise, it could be another whole year where they go without a win, and that for Wales is not good. Like, that is terrible. I mean, we nearly at a point now where Georgia are about to overtake Wales in the world rankings. It's like that close.
If Wales lose and Georgia win, yeah.
Like, it's that close where they will drop to, I think, 12th or whatever. And that's shocking for Wales. And it's a dark, dark time there. I don't know how they're going to fix it. But this is your chance to just, I don't know, get some joy.
This is the team that played in the World Cup quarterfinal.
Wild. That's wild.
You played in World Cup quarterfinal,
and
that's the last game.
Argentina, they nearly did it.
Arguably should have done it, right? They lost it at the end. Was the World Cup their last game that they won in the group stage?
I think so. Don't quote me, but I think so.
Because that was in 2023. They didn't win a game in the full 2024.
Yeah. They haven't won a game nearly 2 years. It's like 9 months away from, so yeah, a year and a bit they haven't won. Ish.
Imagine the state of it.
The thing is, right, if they lose this, I don't see where they win a game. Unless, obviously, they're playing, which, again, will be tough, at Georgia in November or whatever, or in the Autumn Nations.
They'll lose that.
Georgia always finds a way to win that game.
Georgia, every time I see them play Georgia wins, right? So, well, I've only seen it once, to be fair. So, but
yeah, I just think the Italians at home, they'll be so up for it. Like, the Italians are probably sure they're sick of always being sixth. Like, they'll want to gain some.
When do you think Wales say enough is enough, Gatlin, you're gone?
The crazy thing is, right, who do you bring in?
Dave Rennie. I've said this a million times.
Just everyone brings in Dave Rennie.
Yeah. I rated Dave Rennie as a coach. I thought there was some potential. Or, you know what I do? Dave Rennie to Wales, right? Because I'm not a fan of coaches going back. So maybe not Dave Rennie going to Australia. Dave Rennie to Wales, Felix Jones to Australia.
Felix Jones. Oof. Damn. That's a big job to take as your first international job, man. But yeah, it will be interesting.
Why not? Why not? Because remember, Joe Schmidt will still be there as like in an advisory role.
Yeah.
So he won't be traveling with you the whole time, but he can he'll literally do what he did with Ireland in the background.
Yeah.
He still has a plan. He'll help Felix Jones out, find his feet. Felix Jones has nothing to lose with that Australian job.
Yeah, well, I get it. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I think Felix Jones is very close to his first international job. I don't know what it's going to be, but I think he's close. So Australia's a good option.
Springboks after 2027?
No.
He said no. Anyway, everyone, thank you for watching. Please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. We do appreciate you guys. We will see you either on Monday or on Wednesday. Bye-bye. Ciao, sayonara.